I'm Sarah Hashim-Waris for the Los Angeles Times. Let's take a deeper look into an ongoing story earlier covered in our headline segment. The Cyprus parliament, by an overwhelming majority, rejected a controversial $13 billion international bailout package that would have taxed ordinary small account holders, despite a revision that would exempt small bank accounts from the levies. As a result, President Nikos Anastasiades and international bailout negotiators returned to the drawing board to devise a new plan, while banks may not be able to open their doors Thursday when the scheduled bank holiday is slated to end. Earlier, I chatted with Times senior international affairs writer Carol Williams on what to expect. Carol, what can you tell me about the circumstances surrounding the bill's rejection today?
Well, there was a very strong outpouring of anger in Cyprus among bank depositors. They didn't want any money taken from their accounts to pay to the European common currency partners in order to qualify for a bailout. The problem is that the alternatives to the plan that they rejected today in Parliament are going to be much more burdensome to the average Cypriot.
All right, can you go a bit into detail in terms of what the president and international bailout negotiators might propose next?
Well, the president hinted last night that he was still talking with the European central bankers about maybe reducing the amount of money that the EU has asked them to kick in order to qualify for a bailout of about $13 billion. The president hasn't said how much less, and the European Central Bank officials have not indicated that they're willing to reduce that burden on Cyprus, but it's still a negotiation. What's likely to follow tomorrow is another proposal from the government, maybe to only tax savings accounts that have like $650,000 or more in them at a higher rate, and therefore spare the smaller savers having to pay anything into this bailout fund.
So not so different. Do you think Parliament will sort of pick up on that a bit more?
It depends on how much of the money on deposit in the banks is in these bigger accounts. Presumably the foreign depositors, who account for something between 30 and 40% of all of the money in Cyprus banks, are the bigger accounts, and if the bigger burden is put on the foreigners, particularly the Russian oligarchs who stash their money in Cyprus, that would be something to sell more easily to the Cyprus people.
So why is that an option for the Russians to sort of put their money on deposit in Cyprus? What benefits are they getting out of it?
Well, Russians generally don't trust their own financial institutions or their government tax authorities. So even those who have legitimately earned money often want to park it someplace abroad so that it's out of the reach of any, unexpected decision by local or national tax authorities to up what somebody is obliged to pay. But the amount of money in Cyprus is so disproportionate to the rest of Europe that there's a European Central Bank investigation underway to see if they can determine how much of this is actually money laundering that's going on.
Banks can't remain closed forever.
No, they were supposed to reopen on Thursday after the Parliament passed this bill which levies a tax on the deposits in all accounts in Cyprus. That bill was rejected, so they are back to square one. The Speaker of the Parliament said that the banks will remain closed in Cyprus until this is sorted out. He hoped it would be just a matter of a couple more days, but if it drags on beyond this week, there's going to be probably serious unrest in Cyprus if people can't get to their money.
All right, we'll be sure to keep up with your coverage. Thanks for the insights, Carol.
Thank you.